Alright, we are now live. Everything looks good. Today is a beautiful Wednesday noon. I had a PB&J, I feel great! And we're just gonna go into it. Oh boy. What a brilliant day! The sun is shining, the town is full of laughter, and I have my sweet princess here to accompany me. I cannot help but groan at Rumpel's optimism. Because we were both sent out to run errands. Because everyone thinks we make a wonderful couple. He's blushing. No, because we're partners. Partners, a couple, it may as well be the same thing. Half of the time Rumpel says some deep things, but then he says things like that. It's like he has two personalities. No, it's not the same thing at all. I take out the list and scour it for the things we need to buy. More than half of it is already crossed out. I glance at the bags Rumpel is carrying. He refuses to let me carry any of them, insisting that it would be impolite to force the load on me. That leaves me to list duty. That's a lot more laid back than what I had to do at the Martian. Okay, now we have the general medicine restock for Annis. My area of expertise. Never fear, my sweet princess. I will find everything we need. We already have the list? But Rumpel just hums enthusiastically as we continue on our way, and I'm not entirely sure if he heard me or not. We arrive at the little medicine shop in the central plaza. Plaza? A man exits through the front door coughing so loudly people turn their head to stare at him. I wait for the man to pass so that I can open the door to the store, but then I notice Rumpel hasn't budged beside me at all. His eyes do a quick scan of the man before he slowly begins to walk toward him. Sir, you're sick. What's it to you? Even if I was a sick lad, there's nothing I can do when I don't have any money. Besides, it's not like this'll kill me. It's just a cough. How long have you had your cough, sir? It seems like such a minor thing, but Rumpel suddenly looks so serious about it. He looks at the man with his eyes slightly narrowed as if trying to see past him. It's been with me for more than 3 days. Coughs are pesky things, aren't they? They're usually the last thing to go. But at least they're not deadly most of the time. Even if you can't buy the medicine, sir, there are a lot of home remedies that might help with your cough. Boy, I've already tried warm tea. My wife's given me enough of that. Water is good for you. Water is good for your throat too, sir. Any kind of steam works too. If the cough is riddled with mucus, it'll be easier to expel with steam. When you can't afford the medicine, sometimes the simple things will help. And coughs stay for a while, so don't fret if you can't get rid of yours immediately. Well, I'd appreciate the advice. Not exactly what a doctor would tell me, but it'll have to do. The man thanks Rumpel before walking off. I notice Rumpel looking down at the ground, a rather forlorn look on his eyes. Is what he said true? About what, princess? About doctors not giving advice about at-home remedies. Actually, that's... At least my doctor doesn't really give home remedies. So I can't really say for everyone. Most of the doctors don't believe in such things. Oh. They always think that medicine work better than at home or herbal remedies. The medicines do help, but sometimes they aren't necessary. Yeah, you just gave him advice. Not everyone can afford medicine, true. Being a doctor means helping people, not taking advantage of their sickness to steal their money. Oh boy. Political. Money was never a problem at the palace. Whenever I was sick, the palace staff made sure I had the best and most effective medicines, 'cause I'm rich. Do you remember what you were like as a doctor? I wanted to help everyone that showed up at my doorstep. Sometimes I couldn't, and it frustrated me. I prescribed medicines when necessary, gave advice other times, and when things were dire, I performed small operations. He does seem a lot more serious when he's talking about health. Rumpel was silent for a few moments before his eyes light up once again. Anyway, shall we go stock up on our medicine? I thought you said medicine wasn't always... What? I thought you said medicine wasn't always helpful. Because it's not. But I also know that Anise uses mostly herbs, and that she tries to handle things without too much medication. She's quite capable. She could be my nurse. We enter the shop, and in no time at all, Rumpel spots the items on our list. We use up the rest of our money to buy the medicines and remedies that we need, and then we begin to head back to the tavern. On the way there, Rumpel strikes up a conversation again. So, Princess, have you given any thought to what I said before? About what? Oh, hold on. Alright. You've already forgotten about making people happy! What? You know, you could make me happy right now by giving me a kiss on the cheek. I stare blankly at him before walking away. No, thank you. And alas, my hopes are dashed again. When we are at the outskirts of town, I pause and turn around. It is as if I can feel eyes on my back, but I don't see anyone openly staring at me. Is someone watching me? Suddenly, I feel warmth in my hand, then fingers interlaced through mine. Rumpel pulls me a little closer, his expression oddly gentle. Don't worry, my sweet princess. You are safe with me. Suddenly, his face is a lot closer to mine, and I can see his features more closely. It is like the night in the forest, except his face is not marred with the same shadows. There is caution in his eyes, but it is not directed at me. Did you see someone following you? No, I just thought I felt someone looking at me. Better to stay together then. We begin walking again. The two of us begin to head back to the Martian. Rumpel has all the bags in one hand now. He hums a little bit as we walk. It is remarkably peaceful, so much so that I do not even mind him holding my hand. It suddenly feels a lot safer. I am so lost in reverie that I do not even notice when we turn and go in the opposite direction. This is not the way back to the Martian. On the contrary, it's just more of a scenic path. Don't you like the forest, princess? The shafts of light coming in through the canopies, the soft blades of grass that tickle your ankles, the mosquitoes biting at every turn. It's such a romantic place. So no matter what he says, this does not lead back to the Martian. It's not a scenic path or a path at all. Let's just keep walking. It is picturesque, isn't it, princess? It is, but this still does not lead back to the Martian. No, but I figured taking the detour was safer. If someone is watching you, they're less likely to follow us straight to the Martian. Safer? But it's just the two of us. I have faith that I would be able to protect you, princess. Also, the forest is a maze in and of itself. I suddenly stop and let my hand fall away from his as I stare up at him. I wasn't expecting that level of cleverness from Rumpel. Rumpel looks proud of himself. It takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. Then he does not lace his fingers through mine. Instead, he takes my hand in his and then pulls it up to his face. Before I realize it, my hand is on his cheek, his hand cupping my own. Princess, you can trust me. Always, I mean. I can sense that sometimes you trust me, sometimes you don't. But you don't need to be so cautious around me. I shower you with compliments because I believe you deserve them. I tell you that I enjoy being around you because I do. I should be focusing on his words, but all I can look at are his eyes. So dreamy somehow. Uh, what do I need to do for you to fully trust me? Mother told me that people lie, so how could I trust that everything he says is the truth? Perhaps if I stopped throwing compliments at you. You would not be you without all the compliments. What am I saying? I'm always complaining about his compliments. But the thought of Rumpel without compliments is weird. So you enjoy my compliments, sweet princess? No, What? Words have deserted you? I understand. Being so close to me would have that effect on any woman. Something bright and angry flares up inside of me. Something that I don't understand. I pull my hand away from him, a scowl on my face. Oh, she's getting jealous! Was it my big mouth again, princess? Come on, let's go back to the Martian. I start walking again, and Rumpel rushes to catch up with me. I clench my fingers and let out a silent sigh. Rumpel was being so nice to me again, but I always reject his kindness. Because it can't be real. It's kind of sad. Days go by. I consider Rumpel's advice, but I refuse to flirt with anyone again. But I have no idea how to make anyone happy. Rumpel told me that I cannot make anyone happy without knowing anything about them and listening to them like I did with Anise, but what reason do I have to listen to people? This is so frustrating. Days later, Rumpel and I sit at the table waiting for our work orders. Rumpel is on the verge of conversation when we suddenly hear Parfait speaking in the doorway. Rumpel picks up on the words before I do and rushes over to the front door. He almost looks nervous. Who's at the front door? I excuse myself briefly, telling Anise that I will be back. I make my way over to the front door and see 3 people in conversation. There's Rumpel, Parfait, and a very pale man. The pale man looks like death itself, like he might just keel over. I can help him. Rumpel. He needs help. He can stay in my room instead. I can even restock the medicines on my own if need be, so please, let me help him. There is desperation in Rumpel's eyes that I've never seen before. He looks at Parfait pleadingly, all the while holding the man by the shoulder to steady him. What's happening? Oh, princess, this man heard about Rumpel through one of the men at the tavern. He's sick and doesn't have a lot of money to pay for the treatment. He came here seeking Rumpel. He must have been able to find this place because he was cursed. Does he even have the money to pay? Rumpel turns to me with a frown on his face. I've never seen him look at me so sternly. Princess, you remember what I told you before. He was insistent that a doctor's number 1 priority was to help their patient, regardless of their monetary situation. Take him with you then, Rumpel. I have Anise assist you if she's willing. No, Anise does not need to worry herself. I think she'd want to help you. The two cut their discussion short when the man starts coughing, a terrible hacking cough that paralyzes him. Rumpel studies him and then begins to slowly move toward his room. Don't worry, princess. He'll be fine. What? Why does Lucette say what a lot? She says what a lot. Why am I just realizing this? That's like her number 1 question. Or ... There's a lot of ... I can see the worry on your face. Rumpel will be fine. Yep, or that. Why would I worry about Rumpel? Because it's not like you to worry about someone you don't know at all. He looked so alarmed. I've never seen Rumpel look like that before. It's not like him. Rumpel knows what he's doing. I'll have someone else assist you with serving today, so no worries. Parfait comes through on her promise. When I go back to the bar, both Anise and Rumpel are gone. Karma, or Miss Karma, is there instead, looking disgruntled. Waltz would be better at this. Why do I have to help?
Because Waltz is busy doing his puppet shows, and Rumpel is helping a sick man.
Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to do about this then, other than enjoy it. He flips his hair and smiles brilliantly. I will attract all of the customers today. Perhaps we should have a competition, princess.
Compete with yourself. I'm not really in the mood for karma right now.
Then I shall definitely compete with myself. What? Because challenging yourself is important. How do you... That one does not make sense. Karma picks up waiting tables fairly easily. I notice that he speaks very fondly to the girls, but they are not as receptive as they were with Rumpel. Many times they ask Karma where Rumpel is, and he seems agitated when he tells that Rumpel is busy. They seem just as irritated. Once my break starts, I meet Karma at the bar. He looks depressed.
I guess if you and Rumpel competed to woo girls, you would win.
Darling, if I were to shed my disguise right now, I would be the clear victor. Since without this disguise, women would flock to me. It is rather uncomfortable to have every woman in NGL fall in love with you. You look like you're judging me, princess.
Because I am. Judging.
If only you understood my plight.
Karma and Rumpel may speak similarly, but they're still so different. Karma's the type to complain. Rumpel never complains. He's overworking himself for someone else, just like when he went out of his way to apologize to me so many times.
My heart sinks a little bit as I think of him and Anise helping out the sick man. Rumpel didn't even want Anise going up there, so he probably wouldn't want me up there either.
I should try to go visit him, or I should go back to my room.
No, we're gonna go back. We're gonna be super nosy.
I think I'll go check up on him.
Check on Rumpel? I hadn't realized I was speaking out loud. I look at Karma, who furrows his eyebrows at me slightly. I honestly don't know how you can stand him as a partner.
Why do you dislike Rumpel so much?
A lot of things, princess, but that fight is between us and doesn't involve you.
Then do not involve me. You don't have a right to comment on us being partners.
Damn! Karma looks at me wide-eyed and a little shocked. Then a sort of knowing comes into his eyes and he smiles just a bit. Yes, I think you should go visit him because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get him off your mind, would you? He laughs a little before picking up his tray and rushing off to continue a shift. I slowly make my way upstairs, my feet feeling heavy.
For some reason, I feel like Karma's right.
I make my way over to what I think is Rumpel's room. The door is slightly ajar and I hear hushed voices on the other side.
Those voices definitely belong to Anise and Rumpel.
I slowly push the door open and quietly step inside. Rumpel and Anise are standing over the man who is covered in blankets and coughing. A series of bottles sitting on the table. Series of bottles sit on the table close by. None of the herbal medicines are working. We need a medicine for this. I'm sorry, I don't have any money to offer, Rumpel. Anise, please don't sound so sad. You've already tried helping as much as you possibly can. It's my fault for promising to buy the medicine that we needed. What? I glance at the table, where a list is sitting. Beautiful cursive handwriting details everything that the patient needs. Everything is circled except for the medicine at the very bottom that has a star next to it.
Is that Rumpel's writing?
Suddenly the two of them turn. They both look shocked to see me. Princess, what are you doing over there?
I came to see how you are doing.
Princess, I'm fine, but... He glances down at the man at the bed, and he sighs out a little bit. We've given him what we can, but the one medicine we need is something we can't afford. Even with the money I'm getting from Lady Parfait, it isn't enough. I walk into the room and glance at the list. I look over at the total for the medicine, then at the coins on the table that I haven't noticed before.
Did Rumpel use all of his money for this stranger? What will happen if you do not get this medicine?
Without this, the infection will spread and he goes silent as the man starts coughing again. I can read the answer in his eyes, even if he won't say it. The man will be in danger again. He can even die.
Rumpel looks defeated. He does not look like himself at all.
I glance at the coins again, then at the list. Without a second thought, I grab both the coins and the list. Princess, what are you...
I'll be back.
I leave the room, even with Anise and Rumpel protesting behind me. I make my way to my room where I pick up the bag of coins that the king gave me when I went to the palace on the day I was cursed. Then I head for the door. I immediately head for the medicine store that we always frequent. I count out the coins that I need to buy the medicine.
This will take all of my money, but it wasn't as if I was going to use it for something else.
I rush back to the Martian with the medicine in a little bag, hoping that this is the one that Rumpel needs. Oh god. Please say it's the right one. It's so rash of her to just buy it on her own without knowing if it was the right one. It is dark by the time I get back to the Martian. I'm making my way to Rumpel's room again and notice that he is sitting on the stool beside the patient's bed, looking at him forlornly. When I enter the room, his eyes go wide. He seems even more surprised when I hand him the bag. Princess, is this? He opens his bag and lets the little vial roll into his hand. How did you buy this?
I combined your total with the money I had left.
Rumpel just stares at me, clearly flabbergasted. Then his expression morphs into something softer, something more relieved. He steps forward and suddenly his arms are around me. He grips me tightly. Then I hear his voice in my ear. Thank you so much, Princess Lucette. Actually, that sounds a little creepy. Let me try that one again. Thank you so much, Princess Lucette. There we go. That's more in character. My heartbeat picks up slightly. It is so loud that I think Rumpel might hear it, but when he pulls away, he does not say anything. I'll have to thank you for this later, Princess, but for now, you must leave. I don't want you to get sick. I am too dazed to disagree. I nod my head quietly before moving stiffly toward the door. I glance back at Rumpel one last time, noticing that he is checking the man's temperature. The moment I leave the room, a flash of light emanates from my chest. I absently touch the glass slipper at my neck and then pause as I stare down at it. I feel a soft gasp leave my lips when I notice the fragment of a second slipper. That's not a second slipper, it's a broken slipper.
I got my first deed. I bought the medicine for Rumpel, but I only added in a few more coins to buy it. So what I did today was considered a good deed.
I'm confused, but at the same time, I'm pleased that I actually managed to get a good deed.
Now I only need 2 more.
The next day, I go down to the tavern area to begin my work, but I am there a little early. Waltz is working on his puppets at the table, eyes furrowed in concentration. When I walk in, he looks up at me and smiles. Then he raises his eyebrows. Congratulations, Princess. You got your first deed.
I did.
I knew you could do it. I nod in response. His praise makes me feel oddly proud. I continue my usual work, keeping an eye out for Rumpel as I work my shift, but he never appears. A few days go by, and it is only after the man leaves, looking a lot healthier and stable than he was before. Then I finally see Rumpel. He and the man speak at the front door to the tavern. No, really, sir, I couldn't take anything from you. Nonsense. You saved my life. I need to pay you back somehow. The man is holding out money to Rumpel, but Rumpel just shakes his head. I notice that there are dark circles under his eyes and that he looks incredibly tired. I didn't help you for the money. But I insist. That money could be spent on better things, like your family. You may not take my money, but I promise I will pay you back. Your health is all the reward I need. I promise. I can't thank you enough. After the man leaves, I approach Rumpel. He turns to me and leans against the door, his smile still tired but bright. Ah, princess! Come to heal my weary body, perhaps. I would so love another hug. My face feels hot at the memory of Rumpel's hug from the other day. The natural rouge of your cheeks is so sweet, princess. It makes me feel infinitely better. And your necklace seems different? I reach up to touch the pendant.
Every time I go to a good deed, a piece gets added to my necklace.
Oh right! You helped me with the medicine the other day. Of course that was a good deed, princess. It was very selfless of you. Thank you again for that.
That man tried to thank you too, but you refused his money. Why? And why did you spend your money on him?
Because life is invaluable, princess. No amount of money could ever be important than a person's life. Yep, it's true. Can't put a price tag on a person's life.
Even if it's someone you do not know?
Yes, because everyone has a life, princess. They have loved ones, families, sweethearts. And if I can help them, I will. And I will gladly spend any amount of money to do so.
Okay, fine, but why did you not accept any money from that man?
Because no amount of money.
You needed that money. How are you going to buy more medicines without any money?
Rumpel's eyes widened. He was clearly not expecting me to ask that question. But he said that before he didn't have much money. And it was true. I can't take money from him when he doesn't have much to begin with.
He was thanking you with money. You should have accepted that. Parfait pays you, does she not?
Rumpel's shoulders sag when he sighs. Yes, even though I won't accept the money from her face to face, she has to sneak it into my wallet.
If she does that, why not just accept it from her?
I'm trying to make a statement, princess. A very stupid statement, but... Alright, here we go. I'm sorry. If you don't... That's a weird stance to be in. It's the stance of, it's the importance of money. Because you definitely need money to live in this day and age. I just get enough money to get by, which is fine for me. Not like huge amounts, but like enough to be happy with. But like, I guess what I'm trying to say is money shouldn't control your life. Is the lesson I'm trying to get by with. That took a lot longer than I thought. Anyways,
and Parfait does not seem to care because she sneaks the money into your wallet regardless.
Ah, you have a point there.
You're stubborn.
We both are.
Damn it.
Now I have a question. Why did you use your money on that man? You knew nothing about him. Did you do it for him? For yourself? Or for me, perhaps? Rumpel grins at me mischievously. Even with his tired eyes, I can still see the bright cheer in them. Hit the nail right on the head again. You're becoming easier to read, my sweet princess. Well, no matter why you did it, thank you. That medicine was necessary to help that man.
I still think you should have accepted the money from him. You helped him and did him a service no one else would. You should have accepted his gratitude.
Princess, I told you. Question to the audience, if you're even here this far into the video. If you did a good deed like that, like a very selfless deed, like save a person's life, or not even like that dramatic, like help feed a person, or like made a person's day much happier, and they offered you like $100, and you knew that that $100 would get them by for a week, would you take that money as thanks, or would you let him keep that money? There you go. That's the question of the day, I guess. Princess, I told you. I cross my arms and frown at him.
You're stubborn.
Rumpel's smile falters, and he just looks at me sadly, almost guiltily. For some reason, the sight of him in such state makes my heart sink.
Wipe up that frown. You look better with a smile.
Rumpel stares at me shocked.
Why is he staring at me like that?
You like my smile?
What? I didn't say I...
You like my smile! And you complimented me too, Princess. You have no idea how much this means to me. Rumpel throws his hands in the air. I resist the urge to roll my eyes at this exaggerated reaction. When he does that, whenever he throws his arms in the air, I keep thinking of an inflatable, wacky arm, inflatable tube man. Just look that up. That's what it looks like to me. Whenever he does that.
You get compliments all the time from women.
Yes, but none as honest as yours. That compliment is valuable because I know you absolutely meant it. So I will keep those words close to my heart because they are precious to me.
It wasn't anything that It wasn't anything like the spectacular compliments he gives, yet he looks so happy.
You two seem to be getting along. Orphée appears behind us with a smile on her face. Sorry to interrupt, but Lucette, Karma is slowly drowning in table work. Would you help him?
Yes, of course.
Rumpel looks disappointed as I am sent back to the bar, where Karma expresses immediate relief that I am back. Rumpel retires to his room earlier that day, and he is given the day off. Both Delora and Parfait can see the tiredness on his face just like I can. He does not reappear for the rest of the day, and at the end of my shift, I retire to my room. When I go downstairs to the next morning, I am met with a familiar sight.